So now that you've written down some vocabulary for lesson 4.1, we're going to do a few examples. We're first going to be working with vectors. So I have a picture here of a vector, and we need to name the vector and write its component form. So this is a vector. It looks like a ray, kind of, when we've been working with rays in geometry. So in a vector, the starting point where the arrow is not, remember, is called the initial point. And then the ending point where the tip of the arrow is, this is the terminal point. Now, the reason a vector is a little bit different than a ray is the vector stops here. So rays go forever in that direction, but this vector stops at the tip of the arrow. So to name a vector, we use the initial point and the terminal point. And kind of like naming a ray, we always name it by starting with the initial point. So this vector would be called vector JK. And we would put a little arrow above J and K. So this is called vector JK. And now we need to write it in component form. So remember, component form, it kind of looks like an ordered pair, but instead of parentheses, we have these brackets that look like this. And the number that goes first is our horizontal component. And so remember, the horizontal component, when you were doing your vocabulary, it's the distance that you would move horizontally, left and right, to go from the initial point to the terminal point. So to go from point J to point K, I would have to move 1, 2, 3 units to the right. When we move right, that's always a positive horizontal component. And so the horizontal component of this vector is positive 3. The next number that goes in our component form is the vertical component. And so from here, I want to know how far up or down do I have to go from point J to K. So now I'm going to start here. And my vertical component, I have to go up 1, 2, 3, 4. And when we go up, that is a positive component. So vector JK has, it's 3, 4 in component form. So let's go ahead and do a few more of these in your student journal. You have some more to try. Go to page 95 in your student journal. Okay. In exercises 1 through 3, name the vector and write its component form. Okay. In number 1, M is the initial point, N is the terminal point. So we would name this vector vector MN. So to write its component form, we need to count our horizontal and our vertical component. I'll start with the horizontal component. I'm going to start at point M and work my way towards point N. So the horizontal component, I'm moving to the right, is 1, 2, 3, 4. So that is positive 4. The vertical component, from here I would need to go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Positive 6 because I moved up. Number 2, this vector, the initial point is B and the terminal point is A. So this is vector BA. Its component form, I'm going to go ahead and count the horizontal component. I'm going to start at point B and work my way towards point A. So horizontally, I'm going to go left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So since I'm moving to the left, the horizontal component is -5. My vertical component to go from point B to point A, from here I have to go down 1. So my vertical component is -1. Why don't you go ahead, pause the video and try number 3. Name the vector and write its component form. K is the initial point. J is the terminal point, so this is vector kj. The horizontal component, you would need to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to the left. So your horizontal component is -5. Your vertical component, you would move 1, 2, 3 up. So your vertical component is +3.